All right. Hello there. I know there's been a bit of a content drought from me lately. Admittedly, that's been the result of a lack of motivation, really. Trying to get back into it. I don't have a ton that I've been super motivated to talk about lately. So tonight, I thought it'd be fun. You probably can already see the little channel icon down there. I don't know. I thought it'd be fun to look at PragerU's newest little bit here and laugh at it a little bit. This is PragerU. I've watched all of 5 seconds of it, so I know it's Adam Carolla, someone I find pretty insufferable. But yeah, this is PragerU. Who has privilege? Oh, gee, I don't know. Let's see who PragerU thinks has privilege.
Privilege. What's the obsession with privilege? It's driving me nuts. Not only didn't I have privilege, I don't even know how to spell it. I think there's a D in there somewhere, isn't there?
That's a really weird... was that a joke? Like, was that supposed to be funny? I'm going to go ahead and try to predict what's going to happen in this video, okay? It's going to be 5 minutes and 30 seconds. It's going to be 5.5 minutes of Adam Carolla saying, hey, I'm white, but I grew up in a bad home life, and look at me, I'm rich and successful now, and yeah, privilege isn't real because I had to work my way up through hard work and grit and determination and self-discipline and all these wonderful magical things. And it's going to be a criticism of people who acknowledge the existence of things like white privilege and male privilege and things of that nature. Okay, let's get back to it.
If I told you a story about a kid who grew up poor, product of divorce, did a lot of dumpster diving, sister ran away at age 14, welfare and food stamps. If I told you that kid was black, you'd go, well, yeah, that's because of systemic racism. But if I told you that kid was me, you'd go, what?
What? This is... Arguments like this miss the point of the whole concept of systemic racism, right? The argument here is, I mean, it's like I said it was going to be, it's, I had a bad childhood. My parents got divorced. I was dumpster diving. I was getting welfare checks, but I was white. And therefore, systemic racism, fake. You know what? Something I want to do before we get into any of this is I want to look up Adam Carolla. Give everyone a nice, good background here on who we're talking about. Adam Carolla, born May 27, 1964, making him, math, I don't know, he's like 50-something, is an American radio personality, comedian, actor, and podcaster. He hosts The Adam Carolla Show, a talk show distributed as a podcast, which set the record as the most downloaded podcast as judged by Guinness World Records in 2011. All right. Appeared with Bill O'Reilly. Nice. All right, let's go to his political views. Here we go. Regarding his political views, Carolla has stated, I guess I would be a Republican in the sense that I want a secure border. I'm not into the welfare state. I'm not into all those freebie lunch programs. It just kind of demeans people. He goes on to state, however, that he is also in favor of typically liberal causes, such as the legalization of marijuana, and support for as well some progressive causes. That's a weirdly structured clause, such as being against semi-automatic and automatic weapons, not an NRA guy by any stretch of the imagination, like alternative energy to be explored and electric cars to be used, only be powered by nuclear power plants. Elsewhere, you stated, my feeling is this whole country is founded on the principle that if you're not hurting anyone, you're not fucking with someone else's shit, and you're paying your taxes, you should be able to just do what you want to do. It's freedom of independence. In an interview with Reason TV, Carolla described his views as libertarian. Oh, we love that. Cancel culture. Carolla said if you meet anyone over 45, they'll tell you they got paddled, they got swatted, the teacher would smack them with a ruler. I think it's around recent 2020. Nobody would stand for it. People engaged in it all the time when it was common practice or had a context. We don't need to build time machines when calculate them. In an interview with Tucker Carlson, Carolla said that cancel culture is destroying free speech and killing comedy. I don't think I really need to go into detail on this part here. Adam Carolla is a self-described libertarian. If someone self-describes themselves as a libertarian and doesn't clarify that they're a libertarian socialist, their beliefs aren't really worth taking seriously. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put it out there right now. Carolla is I guess comedian. Actually, my dad used to listen to a lot of Adam Carolla, and I think he still does. I remember listening to him a lot in the car when he would drive me to school back in the day. It was always like the comedy was never. It was never Carolla doing the comedy. You know, it was always whoever he had on as a guest, or it was always his co-host that was really in charge of the comedy. And I never liked him. And now he is a regular on Prager University. He is big buddies with, Dennis Prager and Dave Rubin and Ben Shapiro and all those types. What was that like? What was that thing? It was like Cancel Con or something. Do you guys remember this? Canceled Con. Was it this? What am I crazy? Was it this? There was something. This isn't it, because it was let me look at this. It just doesn't go to anything. What was the thing that was like, it was the saddest thing ever. It was like a little get together of Rubin, Carolla, Prager, and Shapiro. They were like in a garage or something, and they were like doing like a talk show, and it was so sad. What was it? What was it? Oh God. I hate that I'm not remembering what this was. Hang on. I'm gonna find it. Shapiro, Rubin, Prager, and Carolla. CancelCon. Here it is. It was the Young America's Foundation. Do you guys remember this? This was a thing. I forgot. I low-key forgot about this. It opened with this monstrosity right here.
Biggest, greatest nightmares. Social justice warriors. It's the bias response team. If you've been offended,
oh my God, I forgot how horrible this was.
The freedom of expression is a microaggression. Here comes Angela Freddy.
Angela Freddy. Okay, anyway, this was a 2-hour-long conversation with Prager, Carolla. They got Shapiro in there, and I think Rubin. There he is. There's Rubin. It was just the four of them. They were in like a garage, and they were just complaining about cancel culture. It was hilarious. It was magnificent. Okay. Anyway, this is all a giant tangent to give the viewer, a wonderful background of who we're dealing with here. This is Adam Carolla, by the way. That's the guy I was just talking about for like 6 minutes. All right, back to it. Adam Carolla, tell me who has privilege. I want to know.
What are we doing? What happened to your privilege? The real white privilege isn't privilege. It's knowing that nobody cares about you, good or bad. No one's going to do anything for.
Is that white privilege? Is that something that only white people have? The knowledge, wait, what was it? The knowledge, it's knowing that nobody cares about you, good or bad. I don't think that's an exclusively white thing. And I certainly don't think this has anything to do with white privilege of any sort. White privilege is... Oh boy, I have to get into explaining white privilege. It's a very nuanced conversation that boils down largely to white privilege is the notion that white people are afforded, generally speaking, certain privileged, probably shouldn't use the word in the definition, certain... Okay. Here's an example, okay? I'm going to use a personal example. I saw someone use this example earlier today, and I thought it was pretty good. So, let's say... So, I am the descendant of Irish immigrants on my dad's side, and I believe German immigrants on my mom's side, okay? Let's say instead of that, we swap it around, right? And instead of being born to Irish and German immigrants, instead of coming across to America during the Great Potato Famine of 1848 or whatever, my great grandparents came from. Let's say instead my great grandparents came from Africa. They were brought to America during the Atlantic slave trade and worked on plantations here in the lovely bluegrass state of Kentucky. There were slaves in Kentucky. I'm not misremembering. Yes, because Kentucky, Ohio was like the border. But yeah, let's say that instead of being descended from immigrants, I am descended instead from slaves. Do you think, the viewer, that I would end up in this, pretty comfy, upper middle class, fairly bougie house that I live in now? Do you think I would afford to have the decent college savings I have right now? Do you think I could have afforded to go to pretty much any high preschool, elementary school, middle school, high school I'd wanted to in the city I live in? Do you think I could have afforded to have a car that's, pretty nice as my first car? And to that I would say no. I don't think I would. I think I would have probably been in a much more difficult situation as a result of a lot of factors, such as various factors dating all the way back to slavery. I mean, there was Jim Crow immediately after slavery. There was sharecropping. There was Jim Crow. And once we finally decided that black people weren't second-class citizens, there were things like redlining, which I believe lasted until the 70s, unless I'm mistaken. That was abolished in the 70s? Or late 60s. I don't remember exactly. Legislative action. Okay. It looks like it was abolished in 1977. So 13 years after Civil Rights Act, right? So housing would have been much harder for my family because of the color of their skin, let's be honest. And I can't say that I'd be in the same position I am today if my family were descended from slaves. That is white privilege. I am privileged for being white in that regard. There are other ways in which I am not privileged. I am a transgender woman in this country, and it's there's not many places on Earth where it's good to be a trans woman, but I'm not privileged in those respects. I am privileged in other respects. Ultimately, the big thing that is the ultimate privilege and the ultimate determinant of how your life ends up is class. I mean, I hate to, I don't, okay, that might have come out badly because I don't want to be a class reductionist, but the thing that over everything else encompasses or determines where you end up in life is pretty much your economic status. I mean, hate to be that person, there are black billionaires from what I understand. Now, did those black billionaires face obstacles that white billionaires did not? Yes. And that is because of white privilege. But a black billionaire is overwhelmingly overwhelmingly going to have better outcomes because of their economic status than a white person living in poverty. That's more of a socialist. That's more getting into critical theory, whereas this is, when we're talking about white privilege, it's more to do with specifically critical race theory. Kind of. Critical theory is more directly applied to class privilege than critical race theory is directly applied to white privilege. It's very complicated, and I don't have the brain power to get into all of it right now. All of this is to say that Adam Carolla doesn't know what he's talking about, really. Or he does know what he's talking about. That's the thing, is the online right are all either grifters or misinformed. And I think Carolla is both. I don't think Carolla is knowledgeable enough about race issues and political issues in general to form cohesive opinions on them. And I don't think that he is doing this PragerU video, for example, completely out of the goodness of his heart. He's doing it because he is going to make a fat paycheck from the people who fund Prager University for it. Okay, let's keep going.
No one's going to do anything for you because you're white, and no one's going to do anything against you because you're white. I'll give you an example. When I get pulled over by a cop, I assume it's either because I was speeding or the cop's an overficious jerk. But either way, my skin color doesn't play in.
Okay, this is patently untrue. This is just patently untrue. I mean, I can pull up the statistics. They're out there. I can pull up the statistics that show that black people are not only more likely to have a negative confrontation with police than white people, but are more likely to get pulled over by the police, like, across the board. Actually, this is pretty interesting. I do want to pull this up. Drive.google.com. Oh, that's all D&D stuff. It's a different drive than mine. Go to my drive. Here it is. All right. Racial biases in criminal justice system. Biases and stop searches and arrests. All right. While white and black Americans admit to using and selling illicit drugs at similar rates, black Americans are vastly more likely to go to prison for a drug offense. They were incarcerated for drug offenses at 10 times the rate of white Americans. Let's see what else. Okay. The black population of Washington, D.C. is 25% greater than the white population, but black people were 410% more likely to be stopped by the police than white people. That is more than 4 times more likely to be stopped by police. The disparity increases to 1,465% for stops which led to no warning, ticket, or arrest, and 3,695% for searches which led to no warning, tickets, or arrest. We also have the similar statistics coming out of North Carolina. Shows black and Latinos were more likely to be searched than whites. Between 2011 and 2015, black drivers in Nashville's Davidson County were pulled over at a rate of 1,122 stops per 1,000 drivers. So on average, more than once per black driver was someone pulled over. They were also searched at twice the rate of white drivers. Like, there is no shortage of data here. Like, I can just start scrolling. This is all data. All of this, all of the first 6, is almost, 6 and like one more pages of data just on racial disparities, largely in the justice system. Like, this is not undocumented. This is a very, very well documented phenomenon.
If I was black, I'm assuming that it was driving while black or that he was profiling me. Let me give you another example of the white privilege I'm talking about.
Okay.
The privilege of not obsessing over privilege.
The privilege of not obsessing over privilege. Okay. I don't know, guys. Does Adam Carolla look like he's not obsessed about privilege right now? Does Adam Carolla look like he doesn't care about privilege? I don't know, guys. It looks like he doesn't care, honestly.
I had a neighbor call the police on me during the day, during the middle of the week, when I was doing a construction project because our phone lines got crossed. So I picked up the phone to call Anawalt Lumber. My neighbor picked up the phone. I said, "Oh, sorry, I think our lines got crossed somehow." Next thing I know, a police cruiser rolled up to my home.
All right, guys. I think I've got it. I think I know what white privilege is now. Okay? Well, it doesn't exist, and I'll tell you why it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist because bad things happen to white people. That's it. That changes everything. This new definition, it changes my whole worldview. I mean, it all makes so much sense now. How can white privilege exist when bad things happen to white people? Oh my gosh. Because, okay, so we already knew that white privilege was anytime... white privilege was a magical a force field surrounding every white person that shields them from every bit of harm that could possibly come their way, right? So with that being said, the only thing needed to disprove it is to show that white people have problems. My God, I really... Oh man. I go too long in between watching these videos, but they don't get better. Oh, they've been doing this how long? How long has PragerU been around? PragerU has been on YouTube since 2009. They have 1 billion views. 1 billion. God. They've been around for almost 12 years now, and their content has not gotten any better.
Privilege.
Oh,
What's
wait, no,
the obsession?
Go away. I'm watching you another time. All right.
Now, if I was black, I would have no choice but to think that was racially motivated. I mean...
Well, yeah, you would. Why wouldn't you?
Why else would your neighbor call the cops on you because your phone lines got crossed, unless, in fact, you're black?
Maybe your neighbor is a stuck-up prick.
And as a matter of fact, I'm not even black, and I think it was a racist incident. Do you get it?
Oh my God. Oh my God, you guys. Oh my God. He thinks he had the cops called on him because he's white. You guys. He thinks he got the cops called on him because he's white. What?
Whites do have privilege, but not the privilege the race hustlers are selling.
The race hustlers. Hello, it is I, Left Turn, the race hustler. Oh, God.
I don't think people really drill down enough on this. I've had horrible things happen to me my entire life. I've had school teachers and counselors that were horrible. I've had construction foremen who treated me like crap. I've had program directors who treated me like crap.
Have you had your parents sit you down and have a conversation with you about what to do if a police officer stops you? Like, have you had that? When you were like 12, did your parents have to sit you down and be like, "Hey, Adam, so there are a lot of things you need to know about the criminal justice system in America. You are part of a group that disproportionately is shot by police officers. And here are the things you can do in a stop to minimize that chance. But even with that being the case, it's a coin flip. Something tells me Adam didn't have that conversation. And that's white privilege. Him not having that conversation is white privilege.
And the good news is I'm white. So I just know they're a-holes, not racist. Why do we want anyone worrying about someone else's privilege? Who cares? This is America. You make your own break.
Unless you're, unless, you know, you're a black person ever. Unless you're not born into wealth. Unless you're not... like, you don't make your own breaks in America. It's success is largely luck in America. I'm sorry. It's hard work is only going to get you so far. Like, how are they still spouting this nonsense? It's been disproved so many times. It's been disproved, and it's been debated, and I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of it. But someone has to go through these fucking videos and debunk them. Ugh.
Anyway, isn't the goal not to judge a person by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character?
I love this. I hear people say all the time, like, that the right loves to co-opt Martin Luther King. They love to do it. Martin Luther King would be rolling in his grave if he knew that Adam Carolla was here using his words to try and disprove the existence of white privilege. Like, Martin Luther King Jr., the socialist... We actually had another video about that. You should go watch that and also subscribe, but...
I think I heard that somewhere.
Oh my god.
What's the guy's name? Marty?
Oh my god.
Anyway, privilege means you have it better than most.
Nope. Not true. Privilege, in this context, means certain... I hesitate to say advantages, because advantages can be pretty strong, but really that's what it is. It is certain advantages that you have over another person because of some characteristic you have. A cisgender person, let's say my sister is a cisgender woman. A privilege she has over me as a trans woman is that she can put on makeup, go out in public, and not get weird looks from people, right? It's as simple as that. That's a privilege she has over me. Or like, it's that simple. Privilege doesn't mean you have it better than most. It means that... Okay, well, let's let him finish the sentence. Maybe he'll end up being correct. We'll see.
Not that you have it better than some.
Okay, no, he was not correct. Like, white people have privilege over black people in things like the justice system, in things like sentencing, in things like the hiring process, in things like... This isn't hard to understand. Can you understand my frustration here? Because this is not hard to understand. I'm gonna drink some water here. I'm thirsty. All right.
How about tall people? Tall people have an advantage over short people.
Yes, and to that I would say that to some extent there are ways in which tall people have privileges over short people. It's that easy. It's that easy.
Thin people have an advantage over fat people.
Yeah, thin privilege is totally a thing, right? People totally, like, fat shame people all the time. It's a thing. Like, you're not making some new crazy discovery here.
Attractive people, you're welcome. have an advantage over the homely. They're always...
Okay, so first of all, no. I'm sorry, but if you think this... Hang on. Wait, I want to go back to Adam
privilege.
Carolla's... Oh my god, go away. Alright. I want to go back to his Wikipedia. I'm sorry, it might be mean of me, but, like, if this is your standard... I mean, I guess more power to you, but, like... I'm also a lesbian. That's also something to keep in mind. But... yeah, attractive people absolutely have privileges over ugly people. Aren't there, like... I'm pretty sure there are statistics out there about ugly versus attractive people in the hiring process. When and why sex and attractiveness impact hiring judgments? Abstract. Do we have any full article? Here we go. Is this it? Is this not the... This is all there is. Oh, there must not be data on this. Or at least not at this source. Savvy business practice or racial discrimination. Interesting. I'm not gonna get terribly sidetracked on this, but there absolutely is an element of privilege involved in being attractive, right? Yeah. Privilege is, and this is important, this is incredibly important to understanding something like intersectionality, because male privilege is absolutely a thing that exists. White privilege is absolutely a thing that exists. And these things are all intersectional, and they all play on one another and in different ways, and it's so important to recognize that. And people like this, and people that agree with this, which there's at least 15,000 of them out there, they just don't get it. They don't get it, and they don't make an attempt to get it. And it...
It's going to be people lower than you on the totem pole, no matter what color your skin is. Wait a minute, are we allowed to say totem pole? I feel like that's racist.
Does he think he's being funny? I mean, like... This is, like, the same, like, discomfort I get at watching, like, Steven Crowder try to be funny. Or, oh my god, I watched this video earlier. It was on the Surf Times, of, like, Kevin Sorbo just did, like a Malcolm in the Middle ripoff of a show. Go and watch that video. It is bad. Oh my god, is it bad. Oh, like, okay, I'm convinced right-wing people just aren't capable of being funny. Like, they claim that the left is ruining comedy. Send me a funny right-wing comedian. If I have any conservatives that watch me at all, send me a right-wing comedian, and I will review it live. Not live, because I don't really live stream. Kind of want to do that, though. But send me a video of a right-wing comedian. I will watch it. I will record my live reaction to it. I'm convinced I won't laugh. I'm convinced that I will not laugh. Not, like, at the joke they're making. I might laugh at them out of, like, secondhand embarrassment, but the right is incapable of comedy, and I don't know what this is. Like, I get Adam Carolla is supposed to be a comedian, but, like, why is he just interjecting these dumb jokes? Like, I think that... Isn't that racist? Are we allowed to say totem pole anymore? Like...
Every minority person living in the United States in 2021 is doing better than people living in the Congo, Bangladesh, or many other places around the world.
That's true. Doesn't undo the fact that white privilege exists.
And if you don't believe me, then why they're all trying to get here? Do the math.
One, I would need to see data suggesting that in fact, everyone in the world is trying to get to America. And two, because the standard of living in America, generally speaking, especially for immigrants who have the money to move here, is better than a place like the Congo that is still very much suffering in the third world. I'm not as familiar with third world politics as I should be. That's something I need to do research on.
We're a systemically racist country that people are trying to kill themselves. They're literally risking their lives trying to get into the systemically racist country. Let's just say this country was a facility, and the facility was systemically racist.
Okay.
And every year, people died trying to hop the fence and climb the wall to get into the facility.
It would be, my response to this would be it would greatly vary upon the circumstances outside of the, well, okay, this is flawed in multiple respects. One, my response would be greatly dependent on the conditions outside of the facility, like the barbed wire fence. Like, are they moving from somewhere that has a similar quality of life as this facility but isn't systemically racist? Then I'd be like, yeah, that'd be a little silly. Are they, is there they're being allowed to enter into the country, and their general ability to do well in the country meaningfully, like, very much drastically impacted by, like, things like their economic status? Then I'd say it'd probably be less silly, because I think, generally speaking, and I, again, don't know as much as I should about Bangladesh, but I'm willing to bet that America generally has better resources for... okay, I know, and this is an example. I know there's a statistic out there about, I think, is it Nigerian immigrants, a lot of whom end up being doctors in America. They're black, and they, guess what, don't have, like, they don't have white privilege because they are dark-skinned, but they generally have better outcomes than white people because they end up coming here and being doctors. They end up being pretty moneyed individuals. That doesn't negate the fact that they have white privilege. That just disproves this stupid analogy.
People of color? Would that make sense? The great news is
Good.
that if you're willing to bust your hump, there's no better country to do it in. So maybe we should stop obsessing on skin color or gender or sexual proclivities and get on with the hump busting. You know what would fix all this nonsense? A little gratitude. You got up this morning. You
Gratitude.
put your shoes on. Your fridge was full.
Yeah, I'm real sure. I'm sure Jacob Blake is real grateful that he's, like, never gonna walk again in his entire life because he got shot by police. I'm sure that the family of George Floyd is very grateful that Derek Chauvin knelt on his neck for 9 minutes and killed him. I just, I have to think that Breonna Taylor's family, God, they're just so grateful. Yeah, I mean, they have to be. I mean, how could you not when police officers break in to your apartment and shoot you, just dead? She's just dead. That's someone's daughter who's just never going to be alive again. This is so... Oh, God. I'm like wavering between having a lot of fun with this and getting unreasonably angry at this. Oh, Jesus.
You hugged your kids. You said goodbye to your wife. You said hello to your girlfriend. Gratitude for living in the best country in the world. at the best time to live in the best country in the world. Whatever your skin color is, there's no better country than the United States to call your home. I'm Adam Carolla for Prager University.
Wow, that was really bad. I don't really have a lot more to say that hasn't been said. Let's recap, shall we? White privilege is the notion that you have certain advantages in your life that are a direct or indirect result of your skin being Caucasian, right? That's what it is. Anybody who claims that the definition is different from that is clueless or grifting, which Adam Carolla is clearly both. PragerU just makes shit videos. They're just not good. They get a lot of views. They are either nonsense or actively harmful to the world. I do want to start responding to more of them because, hey, I gotta make that content somehow, am I right? No. I do want to respond to more of their stuff because it's bad. It's very damaging, and I want to be able to just poke holes in it. I didn't watch this video before I sat down to record this. I saw it on their YouTube channel. I was going to either make a video about this or Jordan Peterson, but Peterson I need to think harder about to make a video, and if you can tell by my rambliness, I'm pretty tired at the moment. I didn't get much sleep last night, but yeah, this is fun. I liked this just like I liked my last Prager University video. If you liked this video, be sure to like it, subscribe. That's a thing you could do to give me some more views in the future if you're interested. Dislike it if you didn't like it. I mean, they both help me in the algorithm, I guess. Leave a comment if you wanna suggest the next video I make. Yeah, take it easy, I guess.